The Montgomery County Office of Consumer Protection helps residents solve consumer complaints. We have 9 experienced investigators with expertise in home improvement, auto repair, housing, and retail transactions, among other topics. Let's meet one of our investigators and find out how a typical case is handled. I'm here with investigator Lee Glass, who recently handled a home improvement complaint that involved an unlicensed contractor. Lee, tell us about the complaint.
The complaint involved a person of a bit older age, and I spoke to her soon after the complaint was assigned to me and scheduled to make a site visit the next day. I viewed the property and noticed that things weren't right. I had known that the contract was signed early February, and on the contract, which involved an unlicensed contractor, it stated the work was going to be completed in 5 days, and here we were 6 months later, and the work was not done correctly and not finished.
So Lee, how were you able to resolve the complaint?
After speaking with the merchant, we were able to come to a settlement to have the money returned to the consumer. And the money which was given to the merchant at the time of the signing of the contract was half of the cost of the project, which is disallowed under Maryland code. You could only have a receipt of 1/3 of payment at the time of the signing of the contract. And the contract itself was invalid because the merchant was not licensed.
When a merchant is unlicensed, our office creates a notice of violation document, which informs the merchant to not perform work in the county until being licensed by the Maryland Home Improvement Commission.
The case took about a month to resolve. During that time, there was a lot of communication and phone calls, and research. And I did have to figure out what parts of the code were in violation. The contractor was acting without a license, and then also too large of a deposit was taken. But another thing that held up the case was that the consumer wanted a money order or a certified check. So then the merchant needed to actually have that cash to pay back. Even though he was willing to do so, it just took a while. But then the money was returned to the consumer, and the case was closed. And hopefully that money will be used to rebuild the front porch and the sidewalk and side entrance.
Great work, Lee. Thanks. Remember, prior to deciding to have home improvement work done at your home, please contact our office for information and contact the Maryland Home Improvement Commission to find out if the contractor is licensed. And remember, the services of the Office of Consumer Protection are free.